Look at that. We have our banana-shaped Titanic. Hello, this is Jake and welcome to part 3 of building the Reval Titanic Wreck diorama in 1/1200. I'm really enjoying this project at the moment. I can't wait to start the next episode and the next episode after that, but it does take time. I had a bit of a delay on episode 2. I just thought I'd update you on that. Episode 2 is now live, obviously. There'll be a link in the description if you haven't already seen it. But unfortunately, we had a death in the family, so I've been dealing with that, sorting stuff out and everything. So it did put a bit of a delay on that. But I got a free day and I'm gonna finish. Well, I've just finished episode 2, so we're gonna start episode 3, and that is, of course, working on the bow section. At the end of this episode, we would have finished the bow. He will be complete and he will be stuck in place where he's going on the diorama. So let's get straight into it. Let's get building the bow section. Okay, so we got our bow section here. We're gonna need some glue for putting pieces together, like this piece here, maybe a couple of bits on here, some bits from that sprue and this sprue. So I'll put them to one side. We also need a fire starter or lighter, because what we're going to be doing is bending the bow into the banana shape it is in today. Unfortunately, when she dug in, she broke her back and completely turned into a banana shape. So that's what we're going to be doing in this episode, detailing it up, and at the end of the episode it should be 100% complete. Okay, I did actually start cutting it, however I thought I would just try, being just a smaller model, just to see if we can mount it, and it's actually worked. Look at that. So that's good. I'm going to mount it just a little bit more. I don't want to bend it too much, obviously, and I don't want to force any snapping, but we shall try this again. Now, of course, be careful when you're doing this. I don't want any injuries. There we go. There we go. Look at that. That worked. So I've got to do the same here. Now, it's going to be a little bit harder because the expansion joints are roughly about here, and I don't want to damage it, like cut it and it will shear off and do more damage. So I'll have a quick look and come back to you all. Okay, so I don't know how well it come up on camera if I get the right light, you see it. So I actually used my plastic snips, my old plastic snips, to just put these marks. Now, they don't look great at the moment, but when we start mounting the hull and I bend it, they should open up a bit. But I've got to be extra careful here because I do not want to split it, and putting these little cuts in it will make that more of a possibility of happening, so we don't want that. So I'll take my time and see what we come back with. Okay, this went really well. Look at that. We have our banana shaped Titanic. I call it the banana shape. You might have different words for it, but see, we got a lovely shape where the bow section dug into the seabed, and yeah, there we go. So first part we're going to use is the actual deck. We'll just clean it up a bit. Now obviously these parts ain't going to fit brilliantly because we've just bent the Titanic, but we will just test fit and see what we end up with. There we go. Without glue. I never like using this glue, but just lately I've been using a lot of it, and seems to do the job. We'll just place that one in like so. There we go. The glue should dry pretty fast. Now obviously the part that goes in here, this piece, let's just cut that one out. These snips are good for cutting pieces out. There we go. Now obviously we don't need the whole length of this. We only need, it's a little bit too long, so we're gonna have to cut that. I swear all I do on this channel is cut up Titanic. Doesn't have to be a clean cut because obviously it's a wreck. So that goes something like that. There we go. It's probably better to let the glue dry a bit. But there we go. So that piece goes like that. Now this might have to be cut. In fact, it probably will be better cutting it. So let me mark out where we need to cut, just so we get a better fit. Right, so I've put that piece in for now. I won't put this piece in yet because obviously we got to shape the brake part of the ship, which I'm going to do now. So, having a rough idea and a rough look at a couple of photos, let me just put the lid back on the glue. What we're going to do is put a couple of cuts, and this is exactly what I've done with the other Titanic wrecks I've done over the years. I also want to cut that one in there. See, it's got these joint parts here. I want to cut it. I do like how that's not glued yet. I might have to put stronger stuff on it, but I do like how we got this shape. I was a little bit worried about putting those cuts in. It might make it a little bit too weak, but it's done the job. So now we just gotta, I might even use a different pair of snips, we'll see. So what we're going to do, you see I put a couple of cuts, doesn't look that great at the moment, but we're going to mount it like we've done with breaking the ball. So bits will come off. I've had this happen loads of times. We can re-stick them, but I'll get the lighter, and what we'll do, again, make sure you don't burn yourself. Also make sure you're in a well ventilated area if you're doing this. It's amazing what you can do with fire models. And see how it's bent out? There we go. Now it will go cold pretty fast, so you want to do your work as quick as possible. There you go, gives you an idea. You can still see some of the windows and that, which is great. Obviously it does mount it, so you will lose a little bit of the detail if you hold the flame on that a bit too long, which I have done in a few places, but given the size of this model and everything, I'm not too worried. Okay, so there we go. There is the brake. Now a little bit of plastic did break off in there, so I'll re-stick that in a second. I've also just removed this part again, mounted it a bit so I could bend it so it doesn't keep propping up here. And now obviously we need the top half here. Plastic flying off everywhere. There we go. And of course we got to cut it for the middle where the expansion joint is. I had to think of the word then. So let's put it roughly where it goes, which is somewhere there. Get it in place. And then what we would do is just mark out roughly where we got to cut. Right, there we go. So now let's get this part in place first. Glue down so it can stick, and then all we gotta do is just line it up where it's going, somewhere like that, and there we go. And we have that, so we will put a little bit of glue, just hold it in place. The glue marks are not going to matter on this model. Okay, here we have the bow section. It's looking pretty good. So obviously the only work to do now is the bridge and everything. I will do more work to the back as well, the actual brake. And a lesson learned, I cut myself with a scalpel. I do this way too often, as you can see. So I do our plasters in the workshop at all the times, just in case I cut myself, which I did. So yeah, let's start adding some of the detail. First things first. The crane for the bow, right now. I think it's a bit too big for the model. It's obviously not to scale, that one. And then obviously we got to fit the cranes as well. I might have to shorten that. I don't like how tall that is. I don't know where the cranes are now. Here they are on this sprue here. You have 8 in total. I'm sure someone will correct me how many's on the ship. On the actual Titanic. And they go here. And some glue. Obviously we're working at quite a small scale here, so I'm guessing some things might be not to the right scale. But at least we got the parts. That's the main thing. There we go. Cranes or something like that. Then we need the bridge, the actual front of the ship, my favourite part of the ship, as I say all the time. There we go, right there. Now obviously anyone who knows the Titanic wreck knows that the bridge is destroyed, and I will try and replicate that, but first I want to put it in place. I'll do that now. So I've cut them off. There you go. Now just help us guide it in a little bit better. And then what I'm going to do is actually remove the bridge, the very top half, because that's no longer there. Some of the things we got to do. There we go. Bring that closer. And then that will go on here like so. So we'll put some glue down. I might go and leave this for a bit once I've done this, just to let all the glue set and everything like that. There we go. It has worked! We have done it! There we go. I've done a few things off camera, like finish the top half here. I've had to mount this. You can see it's a bit black from the lighter. Now, there's one thing missing, and that is the boilers. See, there's no boilers in there. We will tackle that in the last episode just to finish the model up. But what I'm going to do now is give it a spray of primer, and we shall put it in place on the diorama. So there she is, the bow section. As you can see, we got the banana shape I was going for, and it looks pretty good. Now unfortunately, because of the scale, I'm not going to be able to do my weathering effect using sawdust. It would just look tacky. It wouldn't look right. So I will probably, I'm going to think about it, but I'm going to have a bit of a look at probably painting the wrecks up in a detailed rusty colour. But for now, I do like the primer, and a lot of my wrecks I do build end up staying in primer with the rustical effect of the sawdust. But like I said, I'm not going to be able to do that on this because it is a very small model and it just would not look right. But there you go. It's looking pretty good. So what we will do now is end this episode. So that's gone very well. The bow section is looking very good. I can still pick it up and show you. There we go. Finished in the grey primer, which I do not have with me, but we'll do the same with the stern section as well, and the expansion joint looks good. There's a few areas I want to tidy up just in the middle there. I'll do off camera, only little things, nothing to really affect the model. But there we go. So you can see we got a banana shape. That was the easy part. The stern section is going to be a lot harder, but I'm really looking forward to doing this, and obviously that's the next episode. Next episode we will be taking a look at the stern. So I think this video may have run on a little bit longer than the previous episodes, but we've done a bit more work. We've got the bow done and everything. So I want to thank you all for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you definitely want to see episode 4 and 5 and see the finished model or diorama, then please do subscribe. And yeah, I will see you all very soon for episode 4. Bye for now.